This episode of Tekzilla is brought to you by the 2013 Ford Focus XT. I'm Patrick Norton.
I'm Veronica Belmont.
Welcome to Tekzilla, hands-on reviews of the latest tech and how to make the most out of the gear you've already got.
Whether you're a beginner or tech support for your friends and family, if you've got a question about tech or the best cheese to put on a hamburger,
Blue,
we've got an answer for you.
cheddar, Swiss.
All
That would
the
be
above.
interesting. That might be a complicated text.
Super cheeseburger,
Perhaps one at a time.
one at a time.
I want a cheeseburger for lunch
Per
now.
bite.
Ooh. This could get complicated. This is a tech show, and you're not going to believe that for a minute, because wildfires have gotten social. This is really credible. So this giant wildfire is right next to a place called Thunder Ranch, where I will be traveling in the near future. And I got to say this is incaweb.org. It is basically a government, it's just a huge website that gathers all the information you need to track a wildfire and whether or not you need to run away from it. So check this out. When they create a new fire, when they name a new fire, they create a Facebook page for it, a WordPress page for it, and they set out tweets. So not only do you have your interactive map, and to give you an idea, it was so dry this winter, like the west coast of the United States is on fire. Idaho, huge chunks of Nevada, there's a couple down in Texas, but it's really cool. So you basically get the full incident reports up on the WordPress page, and you can get tweets that tell you to check for more news, the Facebook page, of course. This is really cool. I actually got tweets from a couple people who are like, yeah, there's using this, and there's new hashtag syntax I tweeted out about that people are using to help manage this, because in Colorado and other places it's turned out to be really valuable, because people can have their, it's an easy way to get your information on a natural disaster. Yeah,
yeah. When I was down in Utah for a Nerdtacular this past June, I think, there was a fire happening, and it was pretty close to where we were, down in South Jordan, and so we were looking to social media to try to keep up to date on exactly where it was, and they didn't really have too much going on for that particular fire. It was more about watching the news at that point. I guess this is also beneficial for people who are not in the general area, who want to make sure like family and loved ones are at a safe distance.
Well, it's funny, right? Because if you were traveling, there's some better maps, like interactive maps, to give you an idea. But it's kind of crazy. Like a couple of the main two-lane roads, like that's a 400 and 500,000 acre fire up here. That's a 95,000 acre fire. This is like a few miles east of 395. That's right over by Denio. So
serious business.
Serious business. Yeah. But I think it's really neat when technology actually does something useful for keeping people safe.
Related but unrelated, my brand new merino wool Tad Gear zip-up hoodie is fire resistant, and also antibacterial, and also moisture wicking. I learned a lot of things from the Tad Gear guys this weekend.
Yeah, Tad Gear, tripleoutdesign.com. I live in their clothing. You're starting to live in their clothing. They're in our building. Good people, really good gear. Not cheap, but a lot of it's actually U.S. made or made actually right here in California.
Yeah. I think I'm going to be living in this from now on.
You have been living in this, I hear.
It's a little bit big in the arms, but it is wool, so maybe if I wash it,
apparently
and give it a
you need to,
got to bulk up. Got to bulk up to fill up the hoodie.
We have a fresh Ultrabook in-house. Yes, those thin, light, DVD and Blu-ray-free Intel-powered competitors of the MacBook Air that were all the talk at CES. By the way, I just want to say this right now, in case you're searching right now for the S5, there's something going on with Kiefer Sutherland and cupcakes, and I don't know anything about it. But this, ladies and gentlemen, is Acer's S5. Acer's S5, 2.6 pounds, less than a quarter inch thin. Check this out, 15 millimeters at the thick end, 11 millimeters at the thin end. I believe it's the thinnest Ultrabook out there yet. Not my favorite screen, 13.3 inch, 1366 by 768 screen. Intel Core i7-3517U processor, HD 4000 graphics, 4 gigabytes of RAM, and this is what's really trippy. It's 256 gigabytes of storage, but it's actually two 128 gigabyte SSDs in RAID 0.
Interesting.
They're striping. Yeah, pretty crazy actually.
Nice.
802.11 GBM, Bluetooth 4.0, and this is really interesting. So the ports are back here, and I'll talk about this little gadget in a second.
What just happened?
We'll talk about that in a second. So two USB 3.0 ports, Thunderbolts. So you've got your Thunderbolt, your blue USB 3.0 ports, your HDMI back here. A very old school power cable. I mean, this is so I'm charging my electric razor, I can't even touch it. Windows 7 Home Premium, Dolby did the work on the Dolby Home Theater for the speakers. Currently selling it for like $1,200 or $1,300 on Amazon. So not cheap.
Not cheap, no.
But the real secret, the thing that kind of trips me out about this is MagicFlip. Let's see if we can get a tight shot on the back of the notebook right here. So this is a panel that closes up to hide, oh, there it is. Let's, oh, there. Here, let's put the camera right up here. Let's get a tight in shot on there. And you can see MagicFlip. You can also probably hear MagicFlip over my microphone.
Now this worries me a little bit. Is this just another potential breaking part?
I gotta say, Acer, I love your engineers. This is fun, but I think like if this is my business and productivity notebook that I live on, the last thing I want is, you know, it's kind of funny. They didn't put the charger down there, but they put the ports for the accessories down there.
That kind of leads me to believe, I don't know, it makes me a little bit nervous. But what I do like is that it does prop up the laptop a little bit, so that way you get a little extra added benefit of the airflow happening underneath for heating purposes.
Yeah, basically, it does open up the vents on one side. It's an interesting idea. I'm not a big, huge fan of motorized anything for doors and stuff on computers. Striped SSDs, all I'm going to say is cool. Back up your data, which I'd say for any SSD. It's, look, pros. It's thin, it's light, it's fast. MagicFlip, you're either going to love or you're going to hate. Cons, MagicFlip, is this going to last for years? I want 3 or 4 years out of my notebook if I can get it. Some folks are really miffed that, you know, for $1,300, there's no backlight on the keyboard. Some people care, some people don't care. The keyboard feels pretty good.
I mean, that's definitely MacBook Air prices.
Yeah, it's definitely MacBook Air prices. You know, not having a backlight on the keyboard doesn't bother me so much, but I thought, I was talking to some people and they're like, I don't believe it doesn't have a backlight. And I'm like,
I actually use the backlight more than I expected myself to on my Air. So I can kind of see why people, if they're used to that, if they're making a switch from a Mac to a PC, like for this device, then that could be one reason why you'd be maybe turned off from the idea. It's not a major feature, but if it's something you're accustomed to, it might be kind of an annoyance.
Yeah, it's been interesting. My point. See, you know. Well, no, but a lot of people are coming to expect the backlights on the keyboards. Anand did a really good analysis up on Anandtech.com. He's really irritated by the screen. He thinks for the money this cost, they should have spent more money on the glass. So it's pretty typical. It's the LCD is kind of typical for an inexpensive notebook, but not great if you are into the art and the joy. So Anandtech.com is a great write-up on that. So not my favorite screen on a notebook. It's also incredibly shiny, as in I can like shave in this thing. Yeah. I can actually, it's so reflective, it's so beautifully reflective, I can actually see the wires, reflected behind me, there's a light. I can actually see the wires on that protect the glass in the light. It is so perfectly detailed and so perfectly shiny. For
premium prices, you kind of expect a premium set of features, and there seem to be some really great features on this laptop, but also a lot of things they could have thrown in there that would have made sense that they did not.
You know, they wanted to be the thinnest notebook ever, so they put in MagicFlip, but they saved some money on the screen and they saved some money on the keyboard. 6.5 hours battery life is fine for an Ultrabook. I would almost say it's typical, it's not unusual. I want more. Because I always want more battery life. I was kind of laughing at the Ultrabook commercials that have been on TV because they say brought to you by Ultrabook. It's like brought to you by laptops because. But this is something Apple, Intel's been doing for years because Centrino was another one. Do you have a Centrino notebook? And that was a question we got back on the screensavers like every other day. It's like, do I need Centrino? Well, Centrino is essentially means you paid more money to get that 802.11 the Wi-Fi chipset. You know, well, it's like the buzzword. It's the buzzword now. No, it's marketing dollars. It's the marketing buzzword. Marketing dollars. Yes. Bottom line, you know what? It's actually a nice piece of engineering in a lot of ways. It is thin. I love the look of it. It's very pretty. It's very pretty. I like the way they actually wrap the lid around it. You've got an SD card slot on the side. MagicFlip. When and why does that happen? Are you forcing that? No, I think every time you close the notebook, it automatically closes. Here, let's check really quickly. What if you have things plugged in? What if you have this docked? You know, I've actually managed to. So many questions. No, if you, it actually automatically stops. Okay. So if there's something in here, it starts to grind, and you panic, and then it stops. And look, I don't even want it to get to the grinding point. It should just know that things are plugged into the peripherals. You know, the things we should all know. So close. I don't think it's my Ultrabook of choice, but there's a lot of neat things going on here. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay. Coming up next, we're going to be talking about the 80s. The 80s. The 80s. The 80s. And also more about iCloud. Ooh. What does iCloud back up really?
Yes.
Veronica Belmont with the answers when we return. Ford, the new Focus ST are back as the sponsor of today's episode. Last time around, we showed you more about the tech they're building into new vehicles like the Mustang and the Focus ST, and we asked you what technology you'd like to see in future Ford vehicles. Chase L. from Orange County wrote in, I like the idea of an SSD or other way to store music directly in my car. Well, Chase, good news. The new Ford Focus ST comes with multiple USB outlets. Besides using them to keep your phone and other devices juiced up, you can play songs directly from a flash drive. Make sure to keep an eye out for Ford at this year's TechCrunch Hackathon, September 8th through 12th, where they'll be helping developers push the envelope on automotive technology even further. Thanks again to the 2013 Ford Focus ST for sponsoring Tekzilla today and Ford's ongoing commitment to technology.